All right, good morning, everyone. This is Chris out in Hawaii doing the London close analysis and trading session here for the 13th of April, 2020. Hope you all had a great holiday weekend. Um, Not a lot of places to go because most of you were in lockdown, as was myself. I did, however, get to go to a small gathering of, I think it was 4 people that, we practice social distancing, but on the North Shore at a beach house. So I spent this weekend at the beach swimming. So it was beautiful. And I'll tell you what, man, there's not a lot of better places in the world to be dealing with this than Hawaii. So I'm thankful and blessed to be here and very happy. So it was an interesting experience. I met quite some interesting people here. So anyway, over the weekend, I had a few trades open up, and one of them was the euro yen, which we talked about on, I think it was Thursday that we held, and and we got stopped out on this one here. But it was interesting. On the flip side, I had a CAD yen short. I just wasn't sure on which direction this was going to go, so I kind of hedged my bet on this. But with the reward to risk at least a 2-to-1, obviously it's working out for me right now. So um, I'll show you that real quick. But this is a trade from last week that's still open. So I got in at 77.60. This was the level. So I'm targeting 76.75, and I had the stops just above here if it would close out above this. Actually, I'm sorry. No, I didn't have the stop there. I had the stop. It was a 1-hour chart. I have the stop above this level right here, but my rule was it had to close above it. So it tested it a few times, but it did not close above it. So I kind of held. I had an emergency stop right here, but I kept it tight just because I wasn't sure what direction it would go in. And that's a little bit more advanced stuff that I'll talk to you guys about, more detail, more of a one-on-one type of deal. Just because it takes more time at the charts to focus on that, but it does give you better reward to risk ratio. So in terms of, what I had last week, I had 5 total trades. The CAD yen is still open. I also opened a New Zealand Kiwi, and I had a profit of 4% and then a loss of 1.7%. I had a New Zealand CAD trade with a profit of 88 pips, and that was a 4.1% gain. And then the euro yen loss, which was a 2% loss, 2.1. So I had a 4.19% gain last week, even though I won 2 and lost 2. So that's where, once again, the reward to risk is huge. So, it takes all the pressure off when you don't even have to be right 50% of the time to make money here in the markets. It really does. You don't have to be watching it. You just stick with your system. And, because once again, I mean, the probabilities are that, you line up your trade, especially as you get more seasoned doing this. The fundamentals line up, the charts line up, but anything can happen, right? And then that's, once again, why you want to have that reward to risk ratio, because if you have the probability in addition to that reward to risk, it's all you have to do is take trades and you're going to be profitable at the end of the day. Take 100 trades and you'll see. I mean, you probably have to be profitable 30 of them to still make money. And that's, you're not going to find odds like that anywhere else. It's just, you have to be disciplined. So anyway, that's kind of what I was going to show you there. But I have a trade today that we'll talk about as a possibility. But just kind of covering the fundamentals for today. Dollar was mixed, against the key crosses, but gains against nearly all the majors. The CAD did soften on weaker oil, even though oil's up slightly. But the OPEC meetings did result in a cut, but the market kind of viewed it as not enough. Euro's really following the market mood. The EU chiefs have an agreement, but the agreement kind of falls short. The pound is outperforming right now because Mr. Boris is out of the hospital, so thank goodness for that. But that is kind of viewed as his pound strength, right? I think the fact that you had a leader that went through the coronavirus scare, health-wise, he's going to definitely take strong steps here to protect his people. So watch out for that. Economically, it's strong right now, but I don't know if that'll last. Yen, it's risk-off trading, so the yen is being bid right now. And then Aussie, New Zealand, Kiwi are kind of in line with that risk-averse mood. So it's pretty thin. As you guys know, most of the European markets are closed from a holiday today. Australia and New Zealand were closed, so only Tokyo, Singapore, and US are the major markets that were open today. So risk appetite, like I said, was soft. Dow is down, so markets are down right now too. Gold, it's pretty supported under $1,700. So that, the gold is a pretty good indicator of risk on, risk off environment. But when it gets too risk off, it deviates from gold and goes into the US dollar. So that's kind of what we have going on right now. The yen is the strongest, followed by the pound, as I mentioned. The weakest right now would be the euro and also the kiwi. So the trade that I'm looking for today would be a possible New Zealand US dollar short. You can kind of see the trading thin right now. It's consolidating, but you see this drop below these lows here on the 1 hour chart. I like that, and then it spikes back up, but it's kind of sitting there. So I kind of want to see it test these levels again. So maybe test the figure at 61 and reject it before I would get in. So I'm going to keep an eye on this trade, but that's kind of what I'm looking at for today as a possibility. You can see the volume. I like to look at the volume from the step up here. So you can see, there's a lot of volume right here to 60.72, and it's rejected it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I think there's buyers here, but if it rejects this 61 figure again, and the mood stays risk off, I think it'll go downward. So I want to keep an eye on that. It could be a really nice reward to risk ratio, because if it rejects, I'll put a stop right up here. So you'll have maybe a 20 pip stop and a potential profit of, you're looking at like maybe 100 pips. So that any way you look at it, that's a really good trade. So we'll keep an eye on that. And actually, I'll keep the charts up. So if it does kind of get to that level during this hour, we'll talk trade setup here, and we'll set up the stops and the reward to risk. So that's kind of what we have going on for trades this weekend, or for today. Expect the markets to kind of pick up steam for the Asian Open tomorrow. That's kind of today for me. So it's in about 7 hours. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, the market's pretty quiet, but I'll tell you what, man, back to what I was doing this weekend. It was, I don't know, many places you can go swim in the ocean, not get in trouble. Here in the US, I don't know what they're doing abroad, but they're writing tickets and citations for going to the beach. So the rule here in Hawaii is you have to be walking on the beach to go swim in the ocean. So they're allowing you to swim, to do activities. So you can go surfing, you can go swimming, or you can run on the beach. You can take a walk, but you cannot just sit there. So if you're sitting on the beach, with your umbrella and your chair, the police are coming around and they're writing you citations because they're trying to crack down on, the social distancing piece here for at least the next couple weeks. Here in Hawaii, I think we have 500 total cases. We have 8 deaths. So I think the islands are handling it pretty well. Most of the businesses are closed. My brother, him and his wife are both restaurateurs, so they're really dealing with trouble over here, because obviously we have no tourists in Waikiki. So, it's interesting when you kind of see what's going on in your community and look at the markets. And the markets are starting to see some positivity, but I can't understand why, because if you really think about it, it's going to take a long time for our economy to get ramped up here. So, I think this is going to be a battle for us for a while. So, any type of market positivity, and until they tell you they've got the vaccine or they've got some type of medication that'll counteract this thing, to me, risk off is kind of the what. Sorry, you guys, I'll fly. Risk off is kind of what we're going to be seeing moving forward for a while. Now, there should be some opportunity in equities. So, hey, if I were you guys, one stock I'd invest in is look at companies that make those little infrared thermometers. That's going to be the new norm. So you're in for you're in for some stock gains there if you do that. So away from finance, but that one, that would be one that I'd invest in. So, all right. Well, hey, let's keep it keep the chart on, and like I said, it's starting to move up. If it tests, we'll go live on. I'll jump on here and talk to you about setting up a trade. All right, guys. Any questions? Hit me up in the room, and I'll talk to y'all later.